Voting isn't just going to the polls anymore on election day. Options like early voting, mail-in voting, and ballot drop boxes are available to more voters and are growing in popularity. How to Vote is a tool created by Democracy Works, and it breaks down the options your state offers by forecasting a ballot, empowering you to decide where and when to vote. Democracy works best when we all vote, but misinformation and confusion about election procedures have resulted in low voter turnout. How to Vote takes the guesswork out of the voting process. It is easy to use and helps folks from all over the country overcome many of the process barriers to voting. It is committed to helping you vote no matter what. You can use the How to Vote tool to sign up for election reminders, see what's on your ballot, get step-by-step assistance requesting your mail ballot, explore your options for returning your mail-in ballot, check your voter registration status, and find your local polling site, and make sure that you have an appropriate ID to bring with you. Decide when and where you'll vote this year at howto.vote.
Hello and welcome to the formal review. Today, we will be looking at the 2018 film, Ocean's 8. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the review.
Hey everyone, welcome back. My name's Andre, the critic for Box Office Buzz. Now, as with all reviews, there may be some spoilers, but I will be trying to limit that as much as possible. Ocean's 8 is a heist comedy film directed by Gary Ross and written by Ross and also Olivia Milch. It's a spin-off of Steven Soderbergh's Ocean's trilogy and stars Sandra Bullock, Cate Blanchett, Anne Hathaway, Mindy Kaling, Sarah Paulson, Awkwafina, Rihanna, and Helena Bonham Carter. After Debbie Ocean gets out of prison, she leads a group of women who plan on robbing the Met Gala. Debbie Ocean is the estranged sister of Danny Ocean, played by George Clooney in the original 3 films. Going into this film, I was a little worried that there was going to be a lot of backlash because of what happened with Ghostbusters. This film, luckily, does not do that. It has made a good amount of money over the first weekend. It is a good time. I think that the direction by Gary Ross, he does a fairly decent job pulling off a decent heist movie. But I think that the main positives of Problems film is the charismatic cast, led by the lovely Sandra Bullock. And I think that she captures the screen in the exact same way as George Clooney did. She has that charm, interacts with all the characters in a fairly confident way. But I think that my favorite character, aside from her, is potentially Cate Blanchett. I loved when she was on screen. I wish I knew more about the character. But this is a movie like the other films. You don't get a full backstory about who all of these characters are. You kind of get what they do and that type of stuff, how they're connected to each other. But that's really it. And I think that you can tell everyone is having a lot of fun with this film. And the heist, I think, is fairly fun to watch and also has a lot of good cameos of honestly really powerful women. And that's what I think that this movie does a really great job of, is bringing together, like the original Ocean's film did, was essentially bringing together this ensemble cast of the best men in Hollywood. Now this does the exact same. I mean, Sandra Bullock is potentially one of the most charismatic women actors right now, and I think that Cate Blanchett's up there as well, same with Anne Hathaway, and even Rihanna, who hasn't had that much of a film career. I think she was at least enjoyable for the minimal amount of time that she was on screen. Helena Bonham Carter has been, a lot of films over her career. She's a bunch of fun to see on screen. So there's a lot of great things going on between the chemistry of this cast, and I think that that's what makes these Ocean's films really great. I mean, I just rewatched all 3 of those Ocean's films. You can check out the written review on that on Box Office Buzz. But there's a lot of similarities with those films, and that's what I think is a good thing about it, but it's also one of the biggest flaws about it, because this film doesn't really set itself apart from the original Ocean's films. I mean, it's definitely better than Ocean's 12. But is it better than Ocean's 11 and 13? I mean, it's not an easy task to essentially create a whole new film within the same universe and try to create a heist film without not taking obvious inspiration from it. And that's where it's kind of interesting, because this film starts off in almost the exact same way as Ocean's 11. So it's, again, kind of hard to say that this is a unique film, but it works in a way that is still somewhat entertaining for the under 2-hour runtime. I think another flaw with this film is that some of the storytelling is kind of awkward, and it doesn't work very well, to a sense that I wasn't invested as much as I was with the original Ocean's films. I think that there was a much more engaging plot. With Ocean's 11 and Ocean's 13, there was a definite huge motivation for why Ocean doing was taking down these 2 casinos. Now with this one, there is that, but they kind of brush over it, and it's not really given as much backstory as the other films did, and I think that's where the problem lies. Moving forward, I would definitely want to see a sequel to this. I think it would be a fun time either way. It's not a bad film by any means. It doesn't stand alone for them just doing a diamond heist that seems very clayed up. Because of how good the 11 and 13 were, doing another film that's essentially the same but with a less engaging revenge story, it does make it a little worse than them because it doesn't work in the same way. But I had a good time watching it. It was entertaining. I liked seeing how it was connected to the original films, and I actually think that it's kind of cool that if they get 2 more sequels to this, it will go Ocean's 8, Ocean's 9, Ocean's 10, and so on. And like I said, the cast in this I think is fantastic. The chemistry's there. I want them back on screen. But you don't have to go see it in theaters. You could wait till it came out on video on demand, but if you have to go see it in theaters, go watch it as a matinee. Maybe one day we'll get a crossover of them. I don't know. I think that's kind of hoping for too much, and frankly, I don't need it because I think that this film brought together some powerful women. It got to show powerful women that I love seeing on screen, and I would rate this film 3.5 out of 5 bow ties. Now, I want to know what you thought of the film. You can talk to me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. The URL is all the same, at The Formal Review. Let me know what you thought of the film. Till next time, see you at the movies. Take care, guys.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of The Formal Review. We hope you'll join us again.